Morning children, let's see today unit 10, the sermon at Benares. Okay, what do you mean by sermon? Sermon is a talk on a religious subject. The talk about the religious, that speech is called as a sermon. Okay, before getting to the lesson, we see about the author. So Betty Renshaw Barber was born in Shannon, Mississippi on September 3rd, 1927. She taught at the preschool level for several years and eventually she was able to pass her experience on the others by teaching preschool teachers. Betty married Joseph Henry Barber on December 23rd, 1950. They were married for 61 years. This is about the author. This is the explanation about the lesson. The mystery of life and death always baffles us, defeats us. When we lose someone near and dear, we are sad. Okay, this lesson teaches that death is the ultimate truth. Okay, whether we agree or disagree, but death is the ultimate truth. It is about the early life of Gautama Buddha and his first sermon speech at Benares. Okay, his first speech in Benares. This is a sermon speech. Preached is just spreading some religious thought on others. Okay, let's see the lesson. Okay, Gautama Buddha. We'll go to the explanation directly. Gautama Buddha was born to a North Indian royal family as a prince. He was a prince and he was named Siddhartha Gautama. Okay, what was his age? Siddhartha Gautama was the real name. He was sent to a far away place when he was 12 years. For what? Only to study Hindu sacred scriptures, that is holy books, religious books. Okay, that type of studies, religious studies. Okay, and upon returning for 4 years later, after that he has returned. He got married to a princess. Okay, soon they both had a son and they continued to live a royal life for about 10 years. So 10 years over now. The royals were shielded from all the unpleasant experience of the world because the royalty will give them everything. Okay, they didn't see any sufferings. Okay, he didn't see any sufferings. Okay, until the prince met a sick man. One day, Gautama Buddha has met a sick man, an aged man, a funeral procession ceremony on a monk looking for alms. Alms is for money. Okay, so it's given money or food, it's begging. This experience acted as an eye-opener for him and thus he left all the royalty behind to seek a higher sense of spiritual knowledge. So this incident, one day he has met all those things continuously. What are the things he has met? He has met a sick man, aged man and funeral ceremony, and a monk is begging for his food and money. So these things, something has happened in his mind and he began to thought about it. So what the life he is leading is not the complete life. Something is beyond that. He could come to understand on that. That is an eye opener the day for him. So he left all these things, this royalty, okay, and he went to sense. Sense means to find out of a spiritual knowledge. He had to get some spiritual knowledge to preach others. Okay, so he has leave all the royalty. Okay, next, Gautama Buddha went in search of enlightenment. Enlightenment is a state of high spiritual knowledge. You want to gather, you want to learn more about the spiritual knowledge. Okay, for about 7 years. So before he started his preach, okay, he has 7 years he has searched for the enlightenment. Before he finally came across a peepal tree and chose to sit under it till he became awakened. So 7 years he has searched to gather this enlightenment. After that, he sat under this peepal tree. When he finally attained salvation after 7 days, okay, salvation is a preservation from harm and loss. So he is going to preach. Okay, after 7 days, he decided to title the tree as a Bodhi tree, which means the tree of wisdom. So when he sit under this peepal tree, okay, he 7 days he has some analyzation about the salvation, that is preservation from harm, how to preserve ourselves from harm and loss. So he became something as arised in his mind after 7 days. Okay, then he changed the name of the peepal tree as a Bodhi tree, that is the tree of wisdom, and he himself came to be known as Buddha. So he come to the Bodhi tree and he sat under that, and he known as a Buddha. Okay, so before that his name was Siddhartha Gautama, that was changed as a Buddha. Okay, which means an awakened. Buddha means an awakened, an eye opener. Okay, he became an eye opener now. He even began preaching his new realizations, and his first sermon was the first speech about the religious was given in the city of Benares. That's why the sermon at Benares. Okay, the given as a religious speech. The first speech in Benares. Benares is the place. The city of Benares is known as to be sacred as it resides on the banks of the river Ganges. So the city is completely in the banks of the bank of the river Ganges. Sacred is what I said already. It's a holy based. Okay, it's a divine. We will say that Punidamana, so holy based. So the city itself totally called as a sacred city. Okay. The first sermon he gave was preserved and it famous till date. So first sermon at Benares became a very famous. Till now it was very famous. It is given below as well. It given as a new perspective to man's unending sufferings. Okay, he is giving how to overcome this man's unending sufferings, how to preserve ourselves. Okay, how to we couldn't avoid. Okay, how to balance. Okay. The sufferings in a human's life. He started to give the speech, that is sermon at Benares. Okay. Next, it talks about a lady named Giza Gautami, whose son had recently died. This was the incident happened in one day. Okay, the lady name is Giza Gautami. Son has died recently, struck with unending pain. So whenever the dear ones lost, we have unending pain and sorrow. She took her son door to door, requesting for a wonder drunk that could bring his son back to life. So each and every home she is going and asking for any drug, okay, that could cure the death. Okay. Quite obviously, everyone thought that the lady had lost her ability to think clearly. So whenever we are coming to the final end of the sorrow, the thinking power will not be clear. So everyone could understand, because of the pain and sorrow, the lady is lost her ability to think clearly. Okay, going on from door to door, she finally came across a man who couldn't offer any medicine, but he didn't give any medicine, but he has given that let her to Sakya Muni, the offer any Buddha that offer any medicine, but led her to Sakyamuni the Buddha. Okay, filled with hope, the lady visited Gautama Buddha. The man has given a clue, given idea to meet Gautama Buddha. Okay, he may give some medicine or some solution to her problem and begged him for a cure for her child. You go and beg there. Okay, that's why this idea was given by a man. Poor Kisa Gautami now went from house to house. So the lady met Gautami, the Kisa Gautami has met Buddha. He has given a task to complete that. He need a mustard seed, okay, to get from a door where no one has died in that home. Okay, now let's get into the explanation. Poor Kisa Gautami now went from house to house, and the people pitied her and said, "Here is a mustard seed, take it." But when she asked, "Did a son or a daughter or a father or a mother die in your family?" they answered her, "Alas, the living are few, but the dead are many." So this was the reply get from all the home. Okay, what is the reply? The living are few, but the dead are many. So don't remind us of our deepest grief. They have told that, no, please don't remind that. Okay, we have lost our dear ones, and there was no house, but some beloved one had died in it. There is no house there, okay, without people has died. Okay, once again Kisa Gautami went door to door and put this time she was looking for mustard seeds. Many had mustard seeds of her, the same thing. Couldn't get that. Fulfill Lord Buddha's condition. He couldn't, he has given a condition that no one should die in that home, having no deaths in the family. Upon being asked, people requested her not to remind them their deepest griefs. Unfortunately, she couldn't find a suitable home to get mustard seeds for his son. Now, all hope was lost for Kisa Gautami, and thus, in extreme agues and pain, a lot of pain, she found herself a place to ponder at the edge of the road. She has begged all the houses, but they are ready to give, but that could not come under the condition of Buddha. That's why she could understand. She couldn't understand what to do. Finally, sat at the edge of the road. Okay, and she's just thinking about it. She continuously watched city lights blinking and observed them till there was just darkness all around. Okay, after deep reflection, she realized that man's fate was just like this. Okay, city lights that flicker and extinguish repeatedly. So the light may come and the darkness may, the day and the night will come. Okay, the cycle of birth and death is nature's way of working. How the darkness and the brightness, the light, the day has come, the same way the death and the birth are nature. Suddenly she became conscious as how selfish she had been in her sorrow. So she is very selfish. She is thinking only about her sorrow, and that one who was born must rest eternally. There is that, what is it? Exist. Okay, there is an death and the birth is nature. One who born will die. Men are mortal. Mortal is death. Okay, in the case of death. And the ones that are immortals have covered the path free from all worldly pleasures. Okay, now according to Lord Buddha, the life of mortals is troubled because they have not made peace with the fact that the one who is born must rest eternally. There is no way a living being can avoid facing death. Just like a ripe fruit is more prone to falling, the ripe fruits only will fall. Okay. An aged mortal is born to die. Just like all earthen vessels break at some point, so do men. Whether old or young, foolish or wise, death leaves none. So this is the final thing. So whether old men or young, okay, whoever it may be, okay, whether foolish or wise or young or old is not a matter. The death will not leave anyone. The only way death works is by withdrawing the person from the living world. Okay, the person ceases to exist. Okay, the person time is exist. No one has control over death. No one cannot. Neither a father can save his son, nor a kinsman his relative. Just like an ox is taken to the slaughter house to be killed, so does death do with mortals, leaving none behind. Thus the one who knows this truth and doesn't grieve at his loss is the one who has been called wise by Lord Buddha. Coming to this, the wise persons don't grieve. Okay, the person who is wise will not have a grief as they know the truth. What is the truth? Weeping does not bring peace to the mind. So keep on weeping will not bring peace to the mind. On the other hand, a person's pain becomes greater by grieving. If you keep on weeping, the griefness will rise, will become greater. His body also suffers. So our mind as well as the body also will suffer, will keep on crying. One who has learned to control his grief, so we have to control our grief, shall have peace of mind. Okay, those who have it, those who can able to control our grief will have the peace of mind. So keep on weeping will not the solution. Okay, it will suffer our mind as well as the body. That person is blessed who can able to learn this. Okay, what learn? To control the grief. Okay, shall have peace of. Control the grief will bring the peace in the mind as well as the body. That person is blessed who has overcome his sorrow. Okay, that person can overcome, can cross his sorrow. Okay, the vessel made by the potter is not permanent. It has to break one day. So what? Not only the vessel, everything have the existence. In the same way, everyone has to die. How the vessel made, then it will break. The same way the person birth and they will die. Okay, death spares none. It will not give consolation, or it will not give any consideration for others. Okay, a father cannot save his son. So everyone grieves when someone dear dies, but grieving cannot bring the death back to life. Okay, you keep on grieving, the death people will not come back. Okay, the loss is loss. So death and sufferings are unavoidable. This is the thing taught by Gautama Buddha. Okay, what are the things are unavoidable? Death and sufferings are unavoidable. Keep on grieving, our sorrow, our weeping will not bring back the person again. Okay, go through the lesson, read the lesson, children.